Hello. When times are tough, just know that if your coffee maker can brew coffee, life is okay. Look. Wait. It says... Ah! Can you tell? It says Harvard. I'm kind of proud of that because I did not attend Harvard. I'm getting my PhD, Doctor of Philosophy in General Psychology, but I never attended this university. Now, I have somebody in my family that did, and he's wonderful. I've said mean things about my family, and I ask for them to forgive it. Because it's Easter time, and I am here to talk with you. My friend, singer, producer of Voce Studio in the Village, she's worked with Seth Riggs, who's famous for producing Natalie Cole in The Thriller, and with Michael Jackson, Madonna, he's worked with, and a bunch of other people. Not just Natalie Cole, but Barbra Streisand, in fact. So, it's Easter time, and my friend Deanna Delore, she sang with Josh Groban. She's amazing. She even kissed Sam Harris. I know. Oh, next to Ricky Martin, Sam Harris is pretty capital, right? Alright, so I'd like to start with this because this is somewhat of socio-spirituality talk. And I'd like to start with this. Anywhere with Jesus I can safely go. Anywhere he leads me in this world below. Anywhere without him, dearest joys would fade. Anywhere with Jesus I am not afraid. Anywhere, fear I cannot know. Anywhere with Jesus I can safely go. Anywhere with Jesus I am not alone. Other friends may fail me, he is still my own. Though his hand may lead me over dearest ways, anywhere with Jesus is a house of praise. Anywhere, fear I cannot know. Anywhere with Jesus I can safely go. I think I was a little flat, but that's alright. So, you got it. Anywhere with Jesus you can go, because this Easter is where Jesus Christ cemented in this world the gospel fulfilled. He died and rose again. And he showed us that we can conquer death with Buddha, Muhammad, any world leader. Nobody died and shed their blood in front of people and advised them that you would be betraying me, such as Judas did. Talk about prophet. We don't always talk about Christ as being a prophet, but that man was. So let us proceed in you while we discuss Easter and your social psychology and your social spirituality. People go to clubs during Easter break, which is the season of spring, the season of a resurrection of Christ. But the resurrection of a secular humanist, I'm not talking among celebrity, but secular humanism of people that are just good and normal, are going to go to clubs to be unique, to let life be in their magic, and to cost it some time, because it's worth what? Cleaning up for a good rendezvous, right? A soiree. Alright. People this season have an imagination, and it must be raw and industrial. When I say industrial, I'm talking about modern, contemporary, belonging to the millennial, which is anything past 2000. Yet with filthy and... Oh, I have something I wanted to show you. 1 moment, please. So we have a time. Now, you know, I live in Los Angeles, and Los Angeles happens to have the most art galleries per capita in the whole world, next to London, France, and New York City, because of the urban and the funk and the raunch. So in New York there is an upgrade, because if you're living in Los Angeles, you may be from New York, or if you're living in beautiful Santa Barbara, you must be from New York. And so the New York East Coast and Los Angeles West Coast are like this. Okay. So this magazine is called Out, and it's a gay magazine. And these are all magnificent men. And what it's called, aren't they magnificent? It's not quite gender fuck. It's called filthy gorgeous. There is also another term for this that I'd like to provide for you, is the self-grandizement. Grandizement. Pardon me, I need to put in my dentures. Dentures. Dentures really help me not stumble on my words. So you like to go to unlimited endurance, right? And to have energy, no matter your illness and your sickness. You want the resurrection. And then be responsible and, of course, eat healthy. The energy we're talking about is not necessarily bodily from here on, but it's the mind of energy. Because men look lost, and women look lost, even at Easter, because on the dating scene, they haven't found love, and they do not have a less than desperate heart. We're going to just discuss drugs or anything, but they do things in their vices. That could be lying if it's not quite adult things. Pardon me for their hair, because they have this wonderful chrome fan. Let me show it to you. See? Oh my goodness. There it is. It's really fantastic. Alright. I'm dropping a bunch of wonderful things. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm dropping these types of beautiful things in my wonderful, wonderful place in sweet Beverly Hills, right? Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh. Oh my gosh. Oh, these glasses are prescription, and I had gotten them from Asia, and they are hundreds of years old. Maybe 100. Let's not exaggerate. So we're talking resurrection of the mind, and of course bodily components, and the phases that you go toward when you're eating healthy and you get a binge and you eat fast food for 2.5 weeks. That has been my problem. So in a horror feminist culture, and even in a whore masculinity cunt culture, right? I'm designating the work in this to exclusive men. They can't raise the self-esteem because of what? Hate. And that is what put our Christ on the cross. Jealousy and all the other things. Contention and jealousy together lead to murder. This is discussed in the Old Testament. When man in his family is betrayed, one looks upon each other. Luke 21:16 says, don't panic, because all things work out for what? The glory of God. And you are blessed with everyone needing a hero, and you become your leader with religious calling. That is the area of Mr. Tom Cruise wanting to change and save the world, right? No need to put anybody down. He has a resurrection of self-confidence. It's very positive. Man needs to go to people and ask them in the hope of their resurrection to put a meter on them, to hold them accountable, and that's what I do in my private practice as a motivational accountability life coach with counseling alternatives. So man this Easter must be conscientious of what? Not being defiled by his own lack of trust in keeping self from bitterness, contention, and hate. Now you might be quite of a cuckoo, but in celebrititis, in the nightlife, you see people resurrected through fashion and through what they use to get what they want as far as meals in beautiful Los Angeles and New York City. This is a year, nonetheless, money or not, expensive brunch or not, to be decadent in your day life and your night life, because the outrageous resurrection of Christ was what? The way to act as a fixologist, to fix us from death, from illness, diseases. He fixed things. Today the gospel is what? Satisfied. Take the initiative and have the authenticity in the greatest aphrodisia, your Christ. He is your drug. He is your spiritual limit expander. He will expand what you see as limits. You may be filthy gorgeous, with feathering work. No matter if you've nested in drug abuse, you get over yourself, and you're not that special to send yourself to hell. Special people send themselves to hell. Special by the dogma of the world. Be careful of your secular humanism if you're leaving out Christ being your what? Your go-to person, because it's anywhere with him that he touches you. During this Easter time, you must be able to impress yourself through love, and of course, the people, whenever they see you, are out of their closets because you've identified them by seeing through them and giving them prophecy. It is more than being the best, but it is being a messenger. The webcam closed up. That is basically one of my quotations. Men and women, my friends and family that have gifted me with Harvard mugs, bow ties that are in the hundreds of dollars, wooden art that's carved. Look at the San Francisco. You see this? It's difficult. But in your excitement and in your play, whether it be in the city, or it be how you get jacked up because of coffee, or your jewelry, these are all resurrections of potentialities that will give you the self-confidence. In divine alchemy, when many teach, they tell you you're not your body. In social alchemy, the way you impact society is through your body and through your mind and through your academics. And giving a feeling of not a dead soul, but a live soul, because the people are very lost. And there is good karma food and bad karma food, raw vegetables versus animal meat. And through the undefeated self, you don't self-doubt because the brain chemistry has changed. And folks see your physique, They see that you have trained your body and you haven't rejected or discriminated yourself because you may be disgusted in yourself because you are not where you wanted to be. Be of your resurrection on every level and aspect of your life. Now, you're not taught that in church because I'm giving you a place in the world. The church does not teach you how to be in the world and make money. Correct? It teaches you how to give money. I am telling you that in the external influences and the internal influences, there is law of attraction. And law of attraction through people, the first, I think, recognizable trait in you is the first impressions, right? And you want to have love and light in your eyes like Goldie Hawn or Dolly Parton. Because in this resurrection, no self-doubt, no matter your last year of anger, hatred, pain, inner gay homophobia, men hating themselves because they're gay and they're homophobic of to and themselves, loneliness and trashed thinking, and a community used up with low self-esteem sex, angry sex. Everything is very sexual. Marriages, you can name it. Media, presidents, right? Other public administrators, teachers, and your people leading politics, your pastors, right? So in my position as one that doesn't give sermons but talks and lectures, because all the work at New World Christ Church is based on the research that the Tyler Hamilton Foundation conducts, which will later own my dissertation through my college doctoral studies in my university. So when you develop yourself, because you have the energy in the mind, like we've discussed, rewind, right? We call that. You can go anywhere with Jesus, and you don't have to be afraid. You don't have to be needy or humiliated. I learned that by many friends not calling me back. And now you are unable to think wrong. You have what? You have become your own self-alchemist, what I teach at Social Alchemy Project Access Management. Now men, it's Easter time. Christ was a man. Apostle, disciple Peter put his head on Christ's breast to cry. So intimacy and male connection does not mean money and cock and sex and power through homosexuality. I want you to separate your homosexuality from this season. You are always going to be earmarked as perhaps a gay man. Many in your community will give you advantageous opportunities and perhaps popularity with straight men because you are the voice of the world and of trust, social justice, education, and prevalence, and democracy promotion without force. How does this relate to Easter? How does this relate to you being your own self-alchemist in your transformative change? It is about trying out peace on every level in your resurrected what? Season. You want to celebrate Jesus Christ. He's made all this possible. Oh, I want to thank family for my sea glass cufflinks. Man, this webcam is so bad. I'm going to have to get a new one. I made this ring, by the way. So in social arts theory, whether you're a singer or a jewelry maker or a writer of world literature, you are not to be afraid because you are empowered, because you are saved and you have been given worth based on the gospel being fulfilled. This happened. There's ruins of Noah's Ark. There's ruins of the temple in the Old Testament. There's ruins of the tomb. If you don't believe this, it's because you're stubborn and what? You're a control freak. And you need to get over yourself because you're not that special to take yourself and your soul into the commitments of money, greed, and corruption, and being rejected by men such as myself, other than you being my client or my fan base or my pupil, my student, where I teach you. All right. You are the master of offending others, right? Because you are unwilling to love the unlovely and be friends of the friendless. Now, this is not for everybody. I'm generalizing. So if this is not your issue, don't worry. You are all subjected to evil ways. This is human. You are to become your own social science clinic and see where you stand in society with your body, with where you go walking, which is your body, with all affection. You are the new Amsterdam. You are the new liberated mind, is what I'm explaining, and you need one way to show affection to the world. That is through what? Becoming a listener and a hearer, to hear their broken hearts, so that you don't procrastinate in the measure that your psychologist or life coach with counseling alternatives such as myself gives you. You are on your own meter. I give you that because I am not here to control you. I am here to tell you that I've had a broken heart, and I understand the resurrection of joy in the heart because it's a good life. You don't have to have poor thinking. I've discussed this in my lectures and my talks, because you are self-actualized. That, ladies and gentlemen, anywhere with Jesus I can... No. It's not me. It's you. I get enough attention, right, to masturbate my own ego. So it's about you. You know, I'm your minister, your pastor, with lectures and talks, your reverend, social scientist, and gay militant activist. So please, give me a hand when I use a little bit of profanity to express myself. Heck. Anywhere with Jesus you can safely go. Anywhere he leads you in this world below. Anywhere without him, dearest joys will fade. Anywhere with Jesus you are not afraid. Anywhere, fear you cannot know. Anywhere with Jesus you can safely go. Now, the belief in Christ and in Easter resurrection of New Thought Christianity, according to Delarice from Touched by an Angel, and her best friend, producer, director, actor, John Downey III, at Up Church, the congregation that Delarice created. He says that you can always be the light, and you have to have your role model and your hero, which is Christ. So, in your faith, Father's always in your... Tinges. You could always have faith. Father always in thy hands. Anywhere with Jesus, you are not alone. Other friends may fail you, he is still your own. Though his hand may lead you over dearest ways, anywhere with Jesus is a house of praise. Anywhere, fear you cannot know. Anywhere with Jesus you can safely go. I was going to say so, because it rhymes with go, because you reap what you sow. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to put down Christ and Jesus, because he said that in later generations we will do more than he has done. I'm not talking miracles, I'm talking the science that we have, the study of what happens in the molecular level, physicians, sociology, criminology, inventions, the television. This time of year you must be grateful and have the resurrected energy in the mind to be willing to think and create new pathways in your brain. It's your self-governance, ladies and gentlemen, at Social Alchemy Project, and I wish you the most intellectual Easter. I love you. And at this moment of having the benefits of a webcam and a YouTube video, and you watching this, it's worth it to me to die for you. I didn't want to do that, but I love people, and they are saved by a gospel that has been fulfilled and is believed by you. Dankeschön. Oh, Deanna, I love this bow tie. And mother, darling, these are such fantastic cufflinks. And my Asian friend got these from, where did it come from? Like an ancient herbologist or something like that, a doctor. And I also thank my sister and brother for bringing back Harvard mug so I can drink coffee and use that to add the energy. So before we leave, don't have poor thinking, because you have a time here to turn this off, go forward, and know that Jesus is anywhere you trek. You be a good trooper. Again, ich liebe dich. Dankeschön.